until eventually it all pointed to the nature, how it works. And it was sitting there, glaring at me, of why a city or a nation or even a small group becomes garbage. What's up, guys? So I had another epiphany that came over years and years and years of thinking and wondering about things, and that relates to communities, cities, how all different kinds of people work together to make a city, community, or nation strong, and where it falls apart at times. So I'm going to do my best to not pinpoint a place that I'm talking about, because I learned a lot here. It wasn't good. But suffice it to say that sometime in the past, I experienced a new, larger city. And I've experienced a number, so please don't guess. And it's not a great city. No one ever thought it was that great. But the thing that's a little weird about it is the city has everything that you'd want in a city to make it great. Like, it's in a great location. It's got big roads going to it for trucking and travel. It's got access to international water shipping. It's got rail. It's got air. It had major industry. At the turn of the 1800s to the 1900s, it was wealthy. Had everything in the world going for it. But it's terrible nowadays. And I always wondered why. Because look, I haven't been part of that community or the whole world for 100 years. I'm a 38-year-old guy. But like, you look and you watch how people interact and such, and you wonder, why does this place suck? So, you might think, well, we just need more industry. There needs to be more jobs. Something like that, right? Nah, that's not it. It's different. And it's something you can't see, and I finally figured out. So, something I noticed about this place was I got connected to loads of different people. I saw at arm's length, everything from politicians to business owners, industry people, just you name it, across the board people, okay? Everybody who's connected to make things happen. And I started to see patterns with how business goes with new people, how they look and what they do. And the best way I can say it is, I started noticing things like we're using coercion tactics, manipulation, extortion, ghosting people, stealing information, pausing. I'm like, this is worse in this greater city area than it is other places I've experienced. And come on, Southern California, you think that would be horrible, or New York? No, like, this is like watered down third generation mafia crap. What is this? And I'm not by any means saying that that's what it is, because that's a whole other topic of discussion. But I started to see it, that all these patterns of negative ways of control, or basically like intellectual information theft, or political structuring, and the socioeconomic ways of this city and greater area, I'm like, there's nothing healthy going on here. And this place sucks. And for numbers of years, or let me go back before that, in my own life growing up, I have done loads of things to better communities. That might be so simple as putting on a public event where all the money goes to a worthwhile cause. It could be a children's hospital. It could be, a historic trust for historic preservation of a community. You're involved, and you can see the health of community. You support local businesses. You help out. You be part of whatever it is. All these healthy things. And with this other one, I just wasn't seeing anything healthy. But all the things that weren't healthy, the way people interacted, were behind closed doors and in like the higher socioeconomic classes. And I'm like, what's going on? And I try to make that place better by doing things like that, public events, raising money, bringing in contacts, making where I was at better. But I got nothing but roadblocks. Or it's like people just wanted information and contacts, and they just wanted to get rid of you. And these patterns kept up. They never let loose until eventually it all pointed to the nature, how it works. And it was sitting there, glaring at me, of why a city or a nation or even a small group becomes garbage. And it has to do with what I think is required for health in a system of people. And that is, in the United States, the ability for people to freely move up and down socioeconomic class structurings. Like, for instance, if somebody was to figure out a new business that's worthwhile and provides a lot of value, that person needs to be able to go up, right? Or if there's somebody at the top who's really lazy and terrible, or like illegal doings or whatnot, they need to fall down. Do you see where I'm going with this? You know, if somebody works their whole life from nothing and picks themselves up off the streets and overcomes adversity and gets a great job, they need to be able to move up, right? Or you need to be able to move laterally. So if you're like in the business sector, but you know, you can be a great politician, you need to be able to move over here and move, right? Or if you're some sort of public figure, you need to move over and be able to move there too. And that's the natural order of how, like, Western culture works, or at least should, to be healthy. People need to be able to freely move up and down based upon how they are doing. So what destroys a community, nation, or things on small scale to large scale is when that can no longer happen. And you're thinking, well, Casey, how's that going to happen? If you can go out and become rich, you move up. Or if you're a politician that's doing well, you can move up because people vote for you. Oh, really? You think that's how that works the whole time? See, what happens is, if you have an upper part of a socioeconomic class, and you have, let's say, like high-end business people, people that manage major family money, or they're industry leaders, and they're connected with the politicians, or they have famous figureheads, and they have all the people in an upper crust, and those upper crust people decide, hey, we want to stay here, even though we're lazy and don't care and manipulate things, or whatever other negative reason, or we just don't want to do anything for anybody anymore again, and we just want to stay in this position of power and authority and wealth. You got a problem. Because guess what? Your area, community, industry, nation, club, whatever it is going to suffer. Because anybody new that comes around that provides value or that's coming up is going to see this, get knocked down because nobody's going to want them to come in and go, screw this, I'm out of here, and I'm going to go do something good somewhere else where a place actually cares. They're going to leave. And if you get somebody new that can provide value to a community in a big way that gets beat down by that, they're gonna quit. And they're gonna find their place on the totem pole. And that's pretty lousy, because guess what? Everybody suffers. It's important that in a civilization, people can freely move up and down based on their merit and the value they provide others. And when that can't happen, the world suffers. And it happens on small levels and big levels. So think about it. Because I saw it, I experienced it, and realized it. So you have two options if you're a person that wants to provide something good for the world, or yourself, or your family, or climb. You can give up, or you can fight it. The other way of giving up is leaving, finding another place to be, new club, new community, new nation, new state, new city, new whatever, okay? That's a way to do it, but maybe you don't want to do that. You can give up, which is really sad and lame, like who wants to do that with their life? But do you really want to fight that? Because even if you somehow succeed, and you just provide so much value, and you bring so many other incredible, valuable people around, the old guard is going to mess with you. They're going to try to put their thumb on you, coerce you, manipulate you, extort you. Remember all those negative techniques? It's just not good. And guess what? Nobody talks about this sort of thing at all. So I thought I would, because you guys have a future, and I'd like to see you be successful. And if you start recognizing ugly things like this rearing their head, even if they are camouflaged as something else, and they're getting in your way of providing value to people or the world or yourself, then you're probably stumbling upon a minefield that you'd be better off not being part of. It's not fun. So anyway, I think that's about as far as I want to take that. I might be dancing on the line right now. Big topic, guys. Anyway, so keep that information under your hat. I think it'll serve you well when you're looking out there trying to provide value, have a good life. In the meantime, I hope you will like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys next time.